Hi there, this is Addie. I am a yoga teacher from Brooklyn, New York, and today's video will be a short chair yoga sequence for those with limited mobility. Perhaps you're working with scoliosis. It can also be great for those that are sedentary most of the day, working at your desk, looking through a computer, a laptop, maybe even looking through the lens of a camera, right? So a little bit can go a long way, and we're here just to explore. Before we begin, I just wanted to give a big hello to Trisha Clark in Eugene, Oregon. This video is specifically for you, but also hello to anyone else that has stumbled upon my page and found this video. I appreciate any and all feedback, and you can put that right in the comments. So first, the setup with chair yoga. I'm using a regular folding chair, and I've got a mat underneath it. So ideally, this would be a great setup. The mat helps the chair be less slidey on the earth. And we also want to put a little bit of a cushion on top of the chair, whether it is a blanket or a pillow. So give yourself some support, right? And then we'll get started. Okay. So sitting down in the chair, socks will also be helpful for this class because there will be portions where we're sliding our feet forward, and the socks give you a little bit less resistance. So this is the ideal setup if you can set it up this way. If not, we work with what we have, right? When you're coming into your chair, what's important is for you to find a tall spine. So you're not necessarily sitting back and leaning into the chair. You're going to scooch your seat forward. Make sure that your sits bones are connected to the earth. And you want your knees to be in line with your hips if possible, but what you definitely don't want is your knees to be higher than the hips. Right? So you can see here my knees are actually just a tad bit lower than my hips. If my seat was a little bit lower, then my knees would come up higher than my hips, and that's something that we don't want. So just be mindful of that. Step your feet down about hip distance, so that'll be the space of 2 fists in between your inner arches. And then bring your hands down onto the legs and just press down to find a taller spine. Think of reaching the crown a little bit higher towards the ceiling and lengthening through the side body. And if it feels comfortable for you, you can let the eyes start to close down. And just take a few breaths to arrive in your seat and to feel your sits bones connected to the chair. This is a great place to take a few grounding breaths, or even central channel breathing if that's in your practice. There's a really beautiful dialogue that's happening in the breath. With each inhale, we're taking in vital nutrients and oxygen. And with each exhale, we're releasing tension and toxicity that we accumulate just from navigating our everyday lives. See if you can soften the upper and the lower jaw. there be space for the back teeth. And then you're going to release that grounding breath and just allow the body to breathe on its own. Imagine in this moment that you are not the breather, you're just observing the body breathing itself. And you might notice that the breath comes in with a little bit more ease, with a little bit more evenness. And just give yourself permission to be here, to be on this journey, and to meet yourself where you are today, because that could change from day to day. And we'll take a cleansing breath together. On your next inhale, make it a little bit more exaggerated. Fill up to the top. And then open up the mouth and just spill it out. Good, 2 more just like that. Breathe in big through the nose. And then open up the mouth and release it. Good. Your next inhale, fill up with presence. And then exhale what's not yours to carry. Good. And then come back to your natural and effortless breathing and flutter the eyes open. Welcome back into your space. So let's just take a few moments to observe the sits bones connected to the earth. And you might notice that one sitting bone might be pressing down a little bit heavier than the other. All right, so just explore for a moment and then see if you can even it out. But what we don't want to do is start to lean from one side to the next in order to even that out, right? You want to keep the length of your spine, and then whichever side feels like it's a little bit lighter than the other, use the lengthening through the spine and then a pressing down through the sits bones to try to even that out as best as you can. Now bring some attention to your shoulders. Our trapezoids are a very big muscle group in the body, and we have a tendency to overuse our traps, or as I would say in my studio classes, getting trapped in our traps. So imagine the shoulders are fluffy pillows or fluffy clouds. And with each exhale, we want to allow softness. So soften them down the back, but keep lengthening through the back of the neck and the spine. Shoulders softening down the back. Breath is coming in with ease. And we can feel evenness through our sitting bones. Take another big breath in through the nose. And then open up the mouth and sigh it out. Good. So for our first of our movement today, we're going to work on the area of the neck. And we want our movement to be slow and intentional, right? So you'll start by turning your neck to one side, looking beyond the shoulder, and then coming back to center, and then turning the neck to the opposite side, looking beyond the other shoulder. Coming back to center, look to one side, come back to center, and look to the opposite shoulder. a few more times just like that. And maybe you start to link this movement with your intentional breathing. So an inhale to look over one shoulder. The exhale to return back to center. Inhale, look across the opposite shoulder. Exhale, return to center. Good, keep moving just like that. Inhale. And exhale back to center. Inhale. Exhale back to center. Good, inhale. Exhale back to center. Inhale. Take it back to center. Now we'll add on to that movement. As you breathe in, look to one shoulder. And then exhale, drop the chin down so that you're looking directly at the shoulder. Breathe in, lift the chin parallel to the earth. Exhale to come back to center. Inhale, look across to the opposite side. Exhale, drop the chin down, look directly at that shoulder. Inhale, lift the chin parallel to the earth. Exhale, return to center. A few more times just like that, move with the breath. Breathe in. Exhale, chin drops down, eyes are on the shoulder. Inhale, lift the chin parallel to the earth. Exhale, your return to center. Take it to the other side, breathe in. Exhale, drop the chin down, we're sending attention to the back of the neck. Inhale, chin parallel to the earth. Exhale, back to center. Good, a few more times, breathe in. Exhale, chin drops. Inhale, lift the chin. And then exhale, take it back to center. Good. Inhale, look to the opposite side. Exhale, chin drops down towards the chest, look to the shoulder. Inhale, lift your chin. And then exhale, return to center. Good. Give the head a big rotation all the way around. Just to release any holding patterns. And then take it one time in the opposite direction. Think counter flow, counter intuition. And once the chin comes back to the chest, lift your chin parallel to the earth. Good. Let's come into our shoulders, right? Give the shoulders a big squeeze towards the ears. Create a little bit of tension here. And then as you exhale, soften the shoulders down and let them just melt off of the back. Good. Keep moving just like that. Shrug the shoulders up towards the ears as you breathe in. Exhale, roll them back and let them melt down the back. And so maybe this movement comes in a little bit more fluid, but just taking a moment to create some tension at the top as we give the shoulders a squeeze. And then let there be a release of tension as you soften them down the back. And even here, we want to think about counter flow and counter intuition. So take the reverse, right? Draw the shoulders up towards the ears. And then on your exhale, roll them forward and down. Inhale the shoulders up towards the ears. Exhale, roll them forward and down. Good, a few more times just like that. that movement. Come back to your tall spine and just let the eyes close down again. And come back to the ebb and flow of the breath. When you're ready, let your eyes blink open. Come back into your space. And then take the arms out wide, right? The elbows can still be slightly bent. Let's shift this chair over just a little bit so that we stay in frame, right? Still forward of your seat a little bit, right? So that you can keep your tall spine. Arms are extended. Looks like I have to move my chair back a little bit. All right, arms are extended, elbows slightly bent. And then you're going to turn your palms to flip up. And when you do that, notice there's a little bit of a widening through the chest. And then from there, you're going to flip the palms to face down and then turn them to the space behind you. See if you could flip them all the way up in the opposite direction. Good. And then keep moving just like that. Palms will flip forward and up, widening through the chest, and then do the reverse. Flip the palms to face down, turn them to the space behind you, and see if you can turn them to face up, back and up. Good. And just alternating the movement like that. See if you can almost sense what's happening in your shoulder blades here. When we turn the palms forward and up, you can feel the shoulder blades coming together behind you, but at the same time the chest is opening. And then as you flip the palms down and back and turn them back up towards the ceiling as best as you can, the shoulder blades start to separate behind you, right? A few more times just like that. Palms flipping forward and up, and then palms flipping forward and back. And if you imagine that our shoulder blades are like plates on our back, right? You might notice the plates coming together as you roll the palms forward and up. And as you roll them back and up, the shoulder blades come together, separate behind you. Start to link the movement with your breathing. Good. And now what we're going to try to do is work on our contralateral coordination, allowing our hands to do two separate things. So come to have the palms facing forward and then up towards the ceiling. Keep your left hand facing up, but turn your right palm back, down, and up. So that the right hand is doing the exact opposite of the left, yeah? And then you'll start to flip the palms in opposite directions. So now those two plates behind you, your shoulder blades, are one side is opening, one side is closing. And you can imagine that the space around the shoulder blades are getting a little bit of a massage as we do this. One more time. And then release that, give the arms a shake. Bring your hands back out to the legs, close down the eyes, and just invite in a few grounding breaths. Okay, blink your eyes open when you're ready to continue. This time we're going to circle the arms around and up. Take a deep breath in. Find your high prayer at the top, palms pressing together. And on your exhale, pull it right to your heart center. Good. Keep the tall spine. Inhale, circle the arms around and up. Find your high prayer at the top. Exhale, draw it to your heart center. Arms circle around and up, breathe in. Keep the length in the side body and think of, as you pull the prayer down to your heart, lift the crown of the head a little bit higher. 2 more times just like that. Root down to rise. Exhale, land the prayer at your heart. Good, 1 more time, breathe in, circle the arms around and up. Exhale, pull the prayer to your heart, and this time, let the eyes soften down and just start to regulate through your eyes by softening and widening them like you're looking through the darkness of your eyelids into the unknown. And just notice the activity of the mind in this moment. Take a full breath in through the nose, allow it to be a cleansing breath. Open up the mouth, H-A sound, ha. And then blink the eyes open when you're ready to proceed. So we have a little bit more to do in the neck, but we'll do a little bit of a test here, a before and after, if you will. Right? Keep the length in your spine. You're still rooted down through the sits bones. Crown of the head is reaching high. And what I want you to do here is just start to lift your chin towards the ceiling up to the point where it gets a little bit sticky or a little bit crunchy. And then let the chin come back to center. Right? Do that 2 more times. Just exploring the mobility of the chin as you tilt the head back. And make note of that place where it starts to feel a little bit uncomfortable. Do that 1 more time, lifting the chin towards the ceiling. And then coming back to center. Good. So this next movement, is going to be in our feet, but we're going to see how it affects the mobility in the neck and lifting the chin towards the earth. So feet are about hip distance apart, right? And I'm actually going to move myself forward a little bit so that we can really focus on what the feet are doing in this exercise. Let's start with the right foot first. You're going to slide your right foot forward. And then start to flex the toes back towards the face, right? So the ankle is flexed, the toes are lifting. Now give the toes a squeeze. Curl them under like you're gripping a pencil underneath your toes. Relax the toes and drop the sole of your foot down onto the mat and slide your right foot back towards you. From there, just give the toes a lift. Heel stays down. Release the toes. Try that 2 more times, moving slowly and intentionally. Slide your right foot forward. Flex through the ankle, pick up your right toes. And then grip the imaginary pencil. Curl the toes under, give it a squeeze. Toes relax, sole of the foot drops, and you'll slide your right foot back towards you. From there, just lift the toes, and then relax the right foot. Try that one more time. All right, slide the right foot out in front. Flex through the ankle. Grip the pencil, curl the toes. Relax the toes. Drop the foot down and slide the foot back towards you. Now just give the toes a lift. Good. Drop your right toes down on the earth and then come back to your chin test. So sitting up tall, take a breath in and start to lift your chin up towards the ceiling. And just note if that changed anything. Right, come back to center. And do that test 2 more times. See if there's any more increase in mobility. Could be yes, it could be no, maybe it's exactly the same. But we just want to see how the body responds, because we know that everything in the body is linked and connected. And so this is a part of somatic movement here. Work in our feet where we have so many different joints, how that it can affect the mobility in the neck. Okay? Let's try that on our left side. Tall seat. You're gonna slide your left toes forward. Good. Press into the ankle and flex the ankle, let the toes lift. Now curl the toes under, grip that imaginary pencil. Good. Release the toes. Step the foot down onto the earth. And then slide your left foot back towards you. Pick the toes up off the earth. And then place them back down. 2 more times just like that. Left foot slides forward. Flex through the ankle, let the toes lift. Now curl the toes under, grip the pencil, give it a nice squeeze. Relax the toes, step the foot down, and then slide it back towards you. Just the toes lift this time. Good. One more time just like that. Lengthen out through the left leg. Flex the toes towards the face, and then curl the toes under, grip the imaginary pencil. Relax the toes, step the foot down, and slide your left foot back. Good. Lift your left toes. Release that back down onto the earth. Come back to testing out the mobility of the neck. Tall spine. Breathe in and start to lift your chin as high towards the ceiling as you can go, like you're opening up through the throat. Let the exhale bring you back to center. Try that 2 more times. And just noticing how bringing some attention to the feet may or may not be helping with the mobility in the neck. 1 more time. And then when you return to center, again, let the eyes soften down and just let that movement filter through the body. Focus on whatever sensations you might be feeling. Right, this is all important information. When you blink your eyes open, just take a little bit more of a relaxed seat. All parts of the body are connected, as I mentioned earlier. And so we're just exploring how all of the sensations and all of the connected joints in our feet can affect our tall spine and the mobility of our neck. Okay, let's move a little bit into the hips and into the legs. I want you to turn to the left side of your mat. I'll take my notes on this side. Turn to the left side of your chair so that the back of the chair is now closer to your left side. And we're going to work on a variation of Warrior One. Okay. So first, start to extend the left leg long in front of you, and you'll flex through the ankle, right? Press your hands down onto, bring your hands towards the hip creases, not the waist, but your hip creases. Draw them back towards the top of the thighs, and then press down to lengthen through the spine. And on your exhale, just start to hinge forward slightly. And make sure the spine stays nice and long. It's not a rounded spine, right? So we want to press down to find that length and just hinge forward slightly. Just stay for a few breaths. Take a breath in, lengthen through the spine. And then exhale, slide your left foot back in line with your right. So now what we're gonna do is start to swing that right leg behind us. And you can keep the heel lifted. This is when I wanna slide my chair forward a little bit. Keep your heel, your right heel lifted, and bring your your hands to the top of the thigh, close to the top of the knee, but not on the kneecap. We don't want to put any pressure on the knees. Press down into the top of the left thigh and hinge forward slightly. And then from there, you're going to start to slide your right foot back a little bit more so that that right leg works its way to straight. But what I want you to think of as you lengthen through the right leg is finding an expansion in your lower back. So that's why we're hinging forward slightly. Stay here and start to breathe into the front of your right hip flexor. This is our variation of Warrior One on our chair. And eventually you can work your way to arms coming straight up to frame the face. And that doesn't have to be today. You can keep your hands pressing down at the top of the thigh. But as you breathe, think of lengthening through the back leg and finding expansion in your lower back. Take another 2 breaths here. And then release that, right? Bring your right foot next to your left. Turn yourself back to the top of your front of your chair. And just close down the eyes and observe. Good. And then blink the eyes open. We're going to turn to the opposite side of our chair so that this time the back of the chair is closest to my right leg. Right? Extend the right leg out in front of you. Keep the foot flexed, and your right knee can be slightly bent. Right? Slide your hands back towards the tops of your thighs or the frontal hip creases. Press down to find a tall spine first. And then on your exhale, just start to hinge forward slightly. It may not feel like a lot of movement, And the more that you flex through that right ankle, the more you're going to get a stretch also in the right calf. Come back to your tall spine. And then step your right foot down next to the left. Let's build our Warrior One variation on our right side. You're going to swing the left leg behind you. The toes are still connected to the earth, so it feels a little bit like a lunge feeling, right? That's happening here. Bring your hands to right by the top of the knee, and then press down to start to hinge forward slightly. Think expanding through the lower back. And from there, you might have more space to lengthen that left leg behind you. Still pressing into the ball of the foot. The heel is lifted. Now breathe into the left hip flexor. Front of the left thigh. Hands can stay where they are. If you'd like to explore, maybe the arms start to reach up towards the sky, framing through the face. Another 2 breaths. And then release your Warrior One. Bring your left leg next to your right. Turn back to the top, to the center of your chair. Close down the eyes and just let that movement filter through. Blink open when you're ready to proceed. So when we're working within chair, it's really important that we're able to comfortably lift up out of the chair and then also place ourselves back into it. So that will be our last movement for this video. Right? So sitting in the chair, scoot yourself forward slightly so that you can find your tall spine and the feet are connected to the earth. Feet are still hip distance apart. From your hands onto your thighs, slide them back so that they're closer towards your hip creases. You're going to take a breath in and just start to hinge forward as you press down, shifting the weight into the feet, into the legs. And then on the exhale, see if you can come up to stand. Good, tall spine. Exhale, bend through the knees, draw your seat back, and land yourself in your chair. Good. Try that again. Press down towards the hip creases, hinge yourself forward, send the weight into the legs. Now lift yourself up to stand. And then on the exhale, bend the knees, send your sits bones back, and land yourself in your chair. Now this might be different for some folks, right? Keep moving just like that. Weight towards the feet. Use the inhale, rise to stand. The exhale, bend the knees, draw your seat back, and have a seat. So for some folks, it might feel more comfortable to hold on to the sides of the chair, hinging forward. As you send the weight into the feet, press into the chair, lift yourself up to stand. And then as you exhale, bend the knees, draw your sits bones back, reach for the chair, and have a seat. Okay? 3 more times like that. Weight into the legs, come up to stand. Bend the knees, send the weight back towards the hips. Maybe you're reaching for the chair and you have a seat. And then we'll land ourselves standing in a mountain pose. Feet about hip distance apart. Palms are facing outwards. Just give yourself a moment and let the mountain land. Circle the arms around and up. Find your high prayer. And then land it at your heart center as you exhale. Good. 2 more times just like that. Breathe in. Circle the arms around and up like you're gathering the energy. Bring it back towards center. Exhale. Reel it in. Bring it right to your heart. 1 more just like that. Breathe in big. And then exhale and land it right at your heart. And then just let the heart bow towards the chin space, bowing in gratitude and reverence for all of these practices on the mat, whether we're sitting in a chair, whether our movement is even more vigorous, whether it's just a sitting practice. All of these practices are helping us to heal our bodies, our minds, and allowing us to share that with those around us. Bring your chin parallel to the earth and blink the eyes open. All right. Well, that was video 1 of a chair yoga series that I'll be working on. Any feedback or comments that you'd like to leave in the comments section, that would be greatly appreciated. Thank you all for tuning in. Trisha. Okay. Ciao, everybody. Peace and love. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om. Peace.